Okay, here's a video I've been meaning to make for a while. All right. I keep encountering people who are like, Tcekitau is incredibly complicated and confusing. And I don't get it. I don't think there should be Tcekitau because I think it's very confusing. And I didn't know what they were talking about. I was like, are you it's not really. It's pretty simple actually. But then one day I read this wiki page and I was like, is this what they're talking about? Because this is confusing and a lot of this is not true. So let's go over this web page that says what's up with Ki Tau Jau and understand that this is a page of people's random proposals from very long ago. This is this is people's proposals from 2017, 2016, 2015, and random people came and put these suggestions starting in 2014 to 2017, not recently, and most of these suggestions aren't things that happened. So, first of all, the most basic thing, this idea that the Tcekitau words are swapped and that is just a completely unrealistic idea. The idea was that not only would a popular word take over a less popular word, but also somehow the less popular word that has rarely been ever used, like Tau, would somehow take over and replace a popular word like Tuha that people say all the time. Was this the idea that like everybody would simultaneously begin speaking this way such that there would be no confusion with the old usage? Anyway, that is not at all what happened. What happened was that people started to use these alternate forms for these words. They started to use she for shehu, ki for keha, etc. And so both shehu and she came to have the meaning of shehu. This is not a list of a way that people talk or a way that people think about it. This is a list of ideas that people had. I guess we can go through these ideas and I will tell you what really happened about them. Shehu, using she for nobody ever used shehu to mean she. She had gone out of favor because people were just merging sets and masses, so they didn't need she, which is a special way to make sets without using a verb. You could just use shmima, member of a set, to talk about sets. But she was a special little set tool, but nobody used it that much, so it became a synonym of shehu. Ki is a very nice tool for telling time and stories, but it was not used much, so people started to say ki sometimes for keha. Tau is not used much at all, and so it is a very popular substitute for tuha. Both tuha and tau mean that. Zhao substituting for zhouhu has not actually been done that much. People complained about how it would make it so counting makes it so that there's one digit that's not. If you're counting up to 16, then when you got to 14, it would be weirdly two syllables and not in the pattern. And people were like, no, don't. So Zhao has been used to mean zhouhu, but not very much. Du was used a bunch as a synonym of duhu. Duhu was never came to mean do. Instead, what if people are saying do for duhu, then you need to say like dubduhi, dubduho, words and verbs like that that mean to be the same thing as like do. But mostly, I think do is coming back as the same as. Even these, so those are some of the most common actual. Those are the ones in the name, so those are famous. This is from before Tcekitau. Ray was totally replaced with He before anyone ever used Ray. So, yeah, no wait. Yeah, no, Zhao isn't 14. What is Zhao? Zhao is like 11. Zhao 13. Oh, Zhao, and then Zhao 13, and then next comes He 14. I don't know. It wasn't like this was changed. Like, people weren't counting in hexadecimal all the time, and then this stuff got mixed up on them while they were talking. What happened was we were thinking about it. We were like, wait, there's an idea that re and ray are going to be different numbers. I'm just thinking about this, and no, they sound almost the same. So he was started to be used for 14 before ray for 14 ever took off. Boy being used for poihi is common. There's nothing where poihi is used for voy, for the old meaning of voy. The old meaning of voy is strange. I'm not even sure what they were thinking with the old meaning of voy. And so this is still the most common usage of voy you'll see. This did happen. People used su a bunch of, you don't see this lately. We don't see suho that much lately either. This is so confusing. This had never happened. But so Pahi used to use su for suho, and he felt that suho was necessary a lot of times, as opposed to like lo would too much make something be substantiated, and you needed suho to make it be. I don't think everybody understands the grammar that way. There's one reason why people don't feel like they need to say suho. Ka becomes ku. What? No. This has never happened. Ni becomes hu. Not even slightly. Never heard that. Using boo for boohoo has happened at all? Not really. Zai for boohoo is a thing that has existed. You could occasionally hear that, but don't do that, because I use Zai for Zahu Rehu. So use Zai for that. Koi for kohoi is that is real. You can rarely hear that. Sihu for sihao, never heard of it. Seha for zuhai, never heard of it. Yeah for moihoi, that's weird, never heard of it. Moihoi, using gay for moihoi, never heard of it. Ihao, using go for ihao, that's weird, I never heard of it. U for zohu, this was used a little bit. There's a few old messages you can find, but this was superseded by ashwo, which is by far, you will not, if you see u, it is not being used for zohu. It's being used for ashwo. It means like ikuhi. I use zao for zo. Lao for lauhu is not entirely unknown. Lao is an unknown thing, so that's this proposal, po being used for huhu, was ignored it was just one of these random proposals people ignored until I brought it out and emphasized it and in Shpopone, and then it became a popular and controversial idea. Boy for fiho, that's real. But I use that sometimes. Never heard of these. I don't think those are real. No, nothing got vice versa. No. Zahi being abide. No. Rahu being assigned to the old meaning of Zahi. No. Never heard of this. Didn't happen. What? This is what? Some changes in the dialect are not mere swaps. You see, I'm saying this is so confusing. No swaps ever happened. These are not some changes in the dialect. This is just a list of proposals. Shave for shuhi didn't really happen. Ray for ruha, I use that. That's because Ray was free, because we never really used Ray for a number. So Ray for ruha is a thing. Hey being like the opposite for attitudinals. I only saw people try this a couple times, and now te is much more popularly used for jwo potato. te is a synonym Ishbo potato for kuhau. So it terminates po, or potato. Okay, Rafsi swaps, these didn't happen. People wanted to steal tel and null, didn't happen. But on the other hand, Sehi being the Rafsi for Sefsi, not Sevzi, that is how it works and how it worked for a long time. And it was from before Tcekitau, and someone just added it to this list. It's so confusing. So, and then this is an idea about how we can just replace old text by just putting the word xylophone and so that you can swap the two schmavo, which is like, and who wrote this and why don't they care about the sounds of texts? That's not a real thing. And then all of this people arguing and saying about, people are like, no, it's bad. I think there shouldn't be Tcekitau, which, like, whatever. And some of this all makes it sound very confusing and bad. And I don't know, what? Reducing lahedihu to just lao obfuscates some of the underlying carefully crafted structure. What? No? It just means the same thing. And Lauho does the same amount of destruction of the carefully crafted structure. So so leaving off the who doesn't really extra destroy the carefully crafted structure. Anyway, this is all scary and confusing, and most of it isn't true. And what Tcekitau amounts to in practice is some synonyms for things, some of which are slightly confusing, but not nearly as confusing as any language other than Lojban. Just use any old Nat Lang or regular Con Lang or anything will be a zillion times more confusing than that there are different meanings of ki that you will encounter. But English ki has a bazillion different meanings. But with ki, there's two different meanings you'll encounter. The old meaning, and then it'll be in a tense, it'll be tagging a tense, or it will be a keha in like a noi phrase. It'll be noi da 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 keha. And it could totally, if this wasn't Lojban, it could totally just mean both of those, and that would be normal and fine in the way languages work. But since it's Lojban, it's people are concerned that there's ever been any confusion at all, and webpage, that stuff like that webpage, that old wiki page, don't help at all. If you read that and you were like, is this supposed to explain to me what Tcekitau is? I can see why people are like, what are you doing to me? What is this? But no, that's not someone trying to that's not someone trying to explain to you how Tcekitau works descriptively. That is people prescriptively making up stuff that they thought might be cool and putting it on a wiki page in 2015. And they didn't even bother to like try to make those things really happen. They were just like spitballing some ideas for stuff. No worries, it's pretty fine, really. It's totally okay.